Well, welcome back, my friends, to another rousing rendition of Choir Boys Cutlery. Hey, today we're going to go over this Khukri house 15-inch Khukri 5160. It's got a 15-inch blade, 6-inch handle, half-inch thick, made out of 5160. Straight up badassery. Want to thank Brett Sumner for donating this to the channel. Beautiful, beautiful blade. Look at that. Now, before we get into this, 22 veterans a day in this country take their own lives. It's a number that's staggering. It's a number we talk about every video, every platform. We have to, don't we? Vets, I love you. You have a place here. That's all I need to say. There'll be some links in the description. If you need help, if you need to reach out to those folks. They can help you. We back to blue over here. We support Leo. Scab, how do you do that? Well, we don't break the damn law. And finally, if you're an addict, never quit quitting. Well, been a couple days, I know. It's been a couple days since we've done a cutting video, I know. So we're just going to jump into this. Listen, a couple quick points of business. This afternoon or this evening, sometime we'll do a riding with Scab, and we'll give away to that a Vespa or a Shred 36 for Shredder going over 500. And again, to the Shredder channel, congrats, guys. That's awesome. And then we have the preacher in, and we'll do a video for that. Now, I'm supposed to have lunch to get my grandson, so today and tomorrow may be a little but we'll get back on getting our videos out. I miss doing them. I know it's only been a couple days, but they're really, for me, they help out a lot. So that's kind of where we're at. Might see 2, might see 3 videos today, may see 1 video and 2. Who the hell knows? I don't know. I don't even know I mentioned it. Well, listen. I mentioned y'all in the last time, that was my first real Khukri review, and it showed. I get it. So, this is a bigger one. You're not going to see a lot of utilitarian tasks and all that crap. This is a beast, it's a chopper, and that's what we're going to do with it. Well, listen. Let's run out there to the stump and see what you got. Join me, won't you? Well, thank you, Scab. That was a fine introduction. The one thing I've got to rectify right here, I keep saying ex-Khukri house. That's not true. It's ex-Gurkha Khukri house. We have the Khukri house in Nepal, and we have the ex-Gurkha Khukri house in Nepal. Both are run by former Gurkhas. I'll give you some different looks here with it in my hand. It is a damn beast of a knife, son. I'm going to tell you right now, there's a sheep. They do... These Khukris, man, they're just done well. Now, this is like one of the 2 small knives you get. It's, I believe this is the utilitarian knife. I got to sharpen it up. One's a little like utility knife, and one is a sharpener. The thicker of the 2, that one's your sharpener, and they come with it pretty standard. Now, these guys do an amazing job. I believe that's goat leather, if I'm not mistaken. Beautiful sheath. They fit the sheaths or they form the sheaths to fit the knife. And you'll note there on old Scabber's lean side that I got my Buck 110 given to me by Isaac the Noob. And we're doing the Donnie B All Day drop test. Now the Donnie B All Day, throw it at the stump test. And this one I may drop back into a video sometime of just throwing Khukris because it feels good coming out of the hand. One thing here, guys, that's an old red oak from Virginia Richard gave me, and I mention that all the time. But I'm saying that because that's not some soft wood. And the bite on this thing, slinging it like that, clearing a little brush away, that a Boy Scout. I threw it pretty hard there. Now, I believe the weight and the point, more of a spear point, drop point type thing there. Cutting up some rope there, dicking around, not really paying attention, attaboy. Now, between the weight, the thickness, and the point on these things, it gets a tremendous bite. Khukris are not tremendous stabbers. There is a way to stab with them or jab with them, if you will. That is not the correct way. Right here, if you want to get a good bite, just like that, a little more point forward, and there's just me kind of screwing around. It's always a good shot to have in your video of me screwing around. But having cleared that up, now, first Khukri review we did, I swung it really hard. This one's a bigger one. So I tried not to take huge swings with it. The way that it's curved forward and got a little bit of a recurve or curve forward there, it allows the weight forward. Your weight is forward. It's designed for chopping. No need to swing it hard. Look at there. Just barely swing it, get a good bite, and finish it off just like that. Didn't even have to slam it up and down. So I'm trying to learn some of this stuff. Now, some of it is just common sense. You probably don't want to do it this way, the way I'm doing it, in case it slips and hits your hand. But you got to have a bad example to do a good one. Now, add a little weight on it right there. Not even, again, not having to do it hard. The thickness of the blade, thickness of the spine, really allows you some different freedom. I can't speak today, son. Good Lord. Get it together, Scab. Now, this one's pretty sharp. I think this one's probably sharper than the 12-inch. But this thing is just built for chopping. Now, I'm not sure what the Rockwell hardness on a Khukri should be, the optimal Rockwell hardness, and I'm sure people are racing to the comments right now to let me know, aghast that I wouldn't know. Why a middle-aged white man? Anyway, somebody let me know what the ideal Rockwell hardness is. I can tell you this. We were doing, I had batoned a stick into the log last week for some godforsaken reason. So this isn't just prying on a hole. This is trying to pry a stick out of it. At no time was there any bend, was there any flex, was there any danger of that tip busting. Just a really, really, really well-made Khukri. And again, we're going to do some slight chopping here. Now, here in a few, we go out to the woods. And that's where, look at that. Pretty good aim by old Scabber there. Look at that, again. Getting better, son. All you haters beware. Of course, I screwed that up. But anyway, hit it again. Look at that. Just unbelievable aim, control, twainage right there all the way around. And now just dicking around. There it is. I was really, really, really impressed with this Khukri. I like big knives. Everybody knows that. That's not really the whole reason I was impressed with it. It just had a rip for a big knife. It had tremendous control. I did not have to swing it hard. Thank you, Scab. Appreciate that, son. I didn't have to go after it hard. There's a really good look. Now, dear tree-hugging friends, where I am at, all of this stuff is getting cleared out. We go primarily after hackenberry trees. I think that's what they're called. I'm not real sure. Somebody will correct me. But everything that I cut up, everything I go back and I process and I use for fork Scab Tongaroga, which is there in the background somewhere. I've got it well camouflaged so the meth crafters can't find it. Now, here's where I think I've improved on my swings. Some of them I swung like a buoy, but you see the difference in the bite there from the first video? That thing's really just getting down, hitting that sweet spot. Boom, boom, boom. Trying to work, and again, this whole channel is a learning process. It's a work in progress. Hell, talking will be a work in progress. So now swung a little harder there. The truth is, though, one of the reasons I like this, and let me say this, let me say this up front. This may not be a knife you want to get caught with nothing else. Now, if you're caught with it, you can certainly sharpen it up. I am a firm believer in two things. There is no such thing as an overbuilt knife. There's just not. Why in the hell would you want an underbuilt one? That don't make sense. No such thing in an overbuilt knife. Having said that, if it's made of steel, you can sharpen it up to razor sharpness without messing with the edge integrity. Now, I think sometimes folks get confused with getting something sharp as getting it razor thin, and if you get it razor thin and you chop a lot, yeah, you're going to screw up that edge. But you can get a knife, you can get a sword, you can get a Khukri, you can get a machete sharp, just hair popping sharp, without making it razor thin. Knowing your edge angles and things like that really help. I use, on a 1/2 inch like this, I'm going to use a 25-degree edge bevel, and I can promise you I can get it super sharp without messing at all with the integrity of that edge. Going back to my thing, if you were to be out in a situation with this knife, you've got a hell of a chopper. A hell of a chopper. Now, somebody says, well, carry an X. Well, you're missing the point here. Honestly, I'd carry this before I carried a tomahawk. And I don't think I'd have said that before I started these reviews. Why? Because this thing is made for chopping, as is a tomahawk. This thing is heavy. You don't have to put a ton of effort into it. So if you were in a survival situation, you wouldn't have to expend tons of energy, just rearing back and swinging it as hard as you can. You really wouldn't. Now, here we're just kind of chopping a point onto it. I got something that, again, I stole kind of from Donnie. Just chopping a point instead of sitting there taking hours and trying to sharpen up steaks. You can do a few quick little chops and you can have something good to go. Like I said, all this wood that right here, I'm going to process and we'll use for fork, scab, Tongaroga. Now, I do also want to say this. Guys, if you're in the woods, there's a couple things you got to be wary of. In Florida or in the South, really, moccasins, they're huge. They're big down here. I ran into two out there while I was out there today. They went their way and I went mine, I assure you. But they're out and about. They are dangerous. They are ambush predators. If you're in the woods, you're in their territory. So a snake's going to do what a snake's going to do. And let me tell you this. Some people say, oh, a snake's more afraid of you than you. No, that's bullshit. That's bullshit. That's the same kind of people that think they have relationships with snakes. They'll bite the shit out of you if you get in their territory. So, having said that, what do? You take the necessary precautions, walk with a big stick, kind of bang the ground. If you step over a log, make sure you know what's on the other side of that log, son. Again, moccasins are ambush. That's what they do. One was laying behind a log today. I had enough common sense, had a stick, swept back there. He was not happy, but it saved my life and his, I assure you. The other thing that's out there, guys, is ticks. And they can do some damage to you. So make sure if you're out playing in the woods like I do, when you get home, do a quick inspection. Make sure you take care of yourself. Now, you seen right there, guys, 2 whacks and that thing come down. That's what I'm saying. I believe I've gotten a little bit better here on the chopping. Here I'm swinging at some brush. Now, let's see what it'll do as far as wood processing right here. Yep, knocked it right off. Let's see if I can do it again. Yep, knocked it off again. That's why I narrate these guys and don't just do the sound, because the amount of profanity, I'd probably get banned from YouTube. Of course, common sense would, you'd think I'd find a better way to do it, but then again, you'd think if I could find a better way to do it, I'd have a lot more reviewer or subs than I do. But it is what it is. Love y'all. Now look, there's the difference in using the Khukri correctly. That's a mouthful to say. Now, right there, just letting it go to work. A lot of people are saying, man, I got to get me one of them. If you're a collector, if you're an outdoors guy, if you're one of them, man, get you one of these. They're not expensive. For less than, I'd say, to your door with shipping and everything, they're less than $200. You can get a couple nice ones for 120, 130 bucks from either the Khukri house or ex-Khukri house, or ex-Gurkha Khukri house, I'm sorry. Did it again. You can get you a nice setup to your door, handmade. These things are hand forged and they're ready to go. And I think you ought to have one. And they're fun. Now, these things are tools of war. That's what they are. Can you use it for bushcraft? Yeah. Can you use it to chop wood down? Yeah. The Gurkhas have used them to deadly effect for centuries. And so these things, notice, and again, there's the chopping stuff. There you go. About broke you. Camera there, Scab, attaboy. But you see right there, 2 good swings, and it's down. That's about a 3-inch diameter. Didn't have to swing incredibly hard. Looking at myself and taking a look in the mirror there. Attaboy. Now, we're getting on close. Got a couple minutes left. One thing that I would say out of this, I just said I highly recommend you guys getting one. If you don't have one, get yourself one. They are amazing. Take the time to learn to swing with it. We will come back probably in a couple weeks and do another review with this Khukri. I'd like to get some stuff. I may do a couple chopping challenges, put the preacher up against it, put some of my bigger, the top Selchete, just do some bigger stuff against it. Because this thing right here, guys, I'm telling y'all, I'm in love with. An absolute beast of a knife. And I love 5160 steel. I'm a big fan of it. That's what my preacher is. I've got several knives in that, and it's just awesome. There I am, trimming some, doing some shrubbery clearing. Now. I love y'all. God knows I do. We got a lot of stuff coming up here. Got a lot of stuff coming up here today. So we're going to go ahead and try to wrap this thing up. My guy Mikey, who I love dearly, says it best. Says, Gab, never give up, never surrender, and everything will be okay. And Mikey's true, guys. That's a good word. And I ever since I lost my job, I've tried to live by that. Everything may not, be like we want it, but that don't mean it ain't okay. Well, listen, we got another video coming up here, probably in a couple hours. Let this one post, and in probably a couple hours we'll name some winners and we'll get moving. Well, hey, the ex-Gurkha Khukri house, 15-inch Khukri, do I love it? Hell yeah. Guys, listen, I'm Scab. You're not. And I'm gone, son.